Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Riniker, Justin Charles, John Nye, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, Browns fans? Welcome to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We are supposed to have Blake tonight. We just got a last-minute text message. He's running a little late, doing some daddy-daughter stuff.
That's right.
So Justin and Josh with you to at least kick this thing off. At some point, this video is going to glitch, and Blake's going to be sitting in this chair.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're going to get all of his awesome, hot-takey opinions that you guys have been missing for the last week and a half or so.
All that good stuff.
But until Blake gets here, Justin and I are going to hold down the fort. We're going to talk about the Browns moves on day one here, free agency, the legal tampering period, whatever you want to call it. You know, these guys have been talking since the draft and before and whatever.
Yeah.
But today's the day that the breaking news becomes official. We've gotten some good reports. There's a couple guys we want to talk about. There's a couple guys that unfortunately we're not going to be able to talk about. But we'll get to all that. So
I feel like more guys were
not talking about.
Correct.
But there are still guys on the board.
That's correct.
That, we still have our hopes for.
Yep.
But before we do, I just want to remind everybody, check us out on all our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Follow us. If you're watching on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new episodes. We're trying to start put out more content each week, especially right now in the off season as all this news is coming hot and heavy. Make sure you guys go to the website, thedawgspodcast.com/win, W-I-N, for details on how to enter the t-shirt contest. For 2023, we're going to have 4 winners coming out here in April when we do the draft, which I guess we can make that announcement real quick. We're going to be doing live NFL draft coverage again for the Dawgs Podcast. We're going to cover day 2 this year. We're not going to do the first round, especially since the Browns, again, don't have a first round pick.
I'm guessing we're not probably going to do, opening night for a couple more years.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
I don't know. Maybe things change, but
so it's going to be a little more laid back. We're going to recap night 1, the first round. As we go through day 2, we're going to be talking about players on the board for the Browns as things are shaking out, and it's just going to be a good time. So we'll be doing that live on April, whatever that Friday night is. I don't even have the date in front of me. Sure,
maybe,
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So it'll be that Friday night. Just tune in. I think it starts at 7. But all the details will be coming out here. You'll see them posted on our website and on Twitter and everything. So just stay tuned. Last but not least, if you want more Browns content this week and every week, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on our Patreon. And just do it. That's all I'm going to say.
Like Nike.
Yeah, like Nike. Let's just dive into this.
Go for it, dog.
This free agent stuff today, though. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the guys we did sign, or do you want to start with the guys we didn't sign?
Let's do the guys we signed.
Okay.
Let's talk about some Cleveland Browns.
Okay, let's talk about some Browns. So let's talk about the first one, who was a Cleveland Brown last year.
Correct.
So the Browns re-signed Ethan Pocic, center, which is a big deal.
Yeah. So going into this, I was kind of nervous. I was nervous more about what the contract would look like. I mean, I guess we could be nervous on both sides of it, because if we are rolling out there with Nick Harris, we don't really know what we have. I guess if you go through the draft, you're taking a guy, we're guessing 3rd, 4th, 5th round. So to get a guy, and I know you have the stats on it, so I'll let you kind of fill those holes in. But to get a guy that when he was in there, the line looked pretty decent. And then when he was out, it was noticeable. It was noticeable that there was things going on. It was noticeable that, the run game didn't look the same. So to get him for, we said $6 million a year.
Yeah. So he signed a 3-year, $18 million contract worth $6 million a year.
I love it. I love it. Hey, need that we thought was going to be a need heading in. Not a need, I don't think, anymore.
No, absolutely not. And this was a big deal last year because obviously the Browns decided to cut J.C. Tretter.
Yep.
Roll with Nick Harris, and then they signed Ethan Pocic as the backup, the depth piece. We didn't know who he was. I mean, we just knew he had
from Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle free agent.
He had some experience, but whatever. We were rolling with Nick Harris, and then Nick Harris got hurt, and we're screwed.
First snap.
Yeah.
Don't have a center anymore.
Exactly. And it turns out, not only did we have a center, we had the number 3 graded center per PFF in the entire NFL last year.
It's wild. I did not know that he was that high up there.
He was number 3. So I was doing some research this morning, obviously before free free agency kicked off, and center was a big area of need for the Browns.
Yeah.
And I was really digging into Pocic. Spot Track had him projected for a 4-year deal. About $7.2 million a year is what they were projecting him to make. So for us to get him at 6,
I know.
I know. I think we got a freaking deal.
I was scared that there was going to be like a notification on my phone, and it was going to be like, we just re-signed, for, let's say, something wild, like 4 years, 40 million or something like that. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Well, that, that makes things even tougher because when I look at our team right now, I go, yikes. We have a lot of holes. We got a lot of needs. And maybe it was just blind fandom the last few years. When I looked at the roster the last few years, I went, man, we look pretty complete. Looks like a pretty complete roster top to bottom. I was wrong. I will admit right now, God, I was wrong for multiple years now. So I'm hoping going into this year, I look at this team and I go, man, we have a lot of needs. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe that's going to be my thing. We're just going to,
Yeah, I was say, if you're going to be wrong every year, let's be wrong about that.
Yeah, Browns will not go to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
So to get Pocic on this 3-year deal, he's 27 years old. So for me, for like a center, I think he's prime.
Yeah.
Prime career.
Yeah.
He just, like I said, just had a number 3 overall finish. Just to look, because I was looking at, okay, what other guys in free agency are available if we don't bring him back? Like, if we have to spend money in free agency to secure the center position, what do we have to spend?
Yeah.
And so they had Connor McGovern, who...
He went to Dallas. Or no, not to Dallas. He went to Buffalo?
Might have been.
He was from Dallas, correct?
He was actually... last year was from the Jets. It was Dallas, and last year was the Jets.
Okay.
He did sign already today. I apologize, everybody. Don't have that right in front of me. We'll get it. But Connor McGovern was projected at $12.5 million a year, and he was the number 10 center last year.
Yeah.
Okay? So then you move to Jason Kelsey, who's 35 years old, but he was the number 2 center last year. He's projected to make $12 million. So both these guys are in the $12 million range. Then you had Garrett Bradbury from the Vikings. He was the 11th center, $12 million a year projection. Then you had Bradley Bozeman, who I think also signed. I'll check that. Projected at $12 million a year. So you've got the number 2. You've got the number, what did I say? 10, 11, and 19 available in free agency, and they're all going to be projected around $12 million a year. And we got the number 3 for 6.
For multiple years.
Lock it up, baby.
Well
I'll tell you what, Andrew Berry.
Just when I always say, trust the process.
Yes.
Just trust the process. And I sometimes stop feeling like I'm trusting because I'm like, what are we doing? But then, there's moves like this where I'm like, okay, hey, absolutely. For me, I don't want to call it a home run, but to fill a position of need and to really not throw that much out there as far as, contract, for me, great deal. Great deal for us.
Great value for the performance, for the production that we got out of Pocic. I'll call it a home run. I will.
That's fair. I'm good. Yeah. I love
it. Anything else about Pocic other than, I think our O-line now, other than, left tackle still a little bit question with Wills, but
it's looking solid.
That interior is sweet.
It's looking solid. I'd like to see them get back to, where they were a few years ago, where it was one of the most dominant lines in the league.
Yep.
We got to stay healthy.
Yeah, we really do. So let's move on then. We've got the second signing, and there was only 2 so far as we're recording this, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do this. It's Ogbo Okoronkwo.
That was well done.
Okay.
That was so
good. A little
good.
misleading. There's some silent...
A lot of vowels.
Silent consonants in there, too. Okay, so we got the former Houston Texans edge rusher. And I believe before that, if I'm looking at this correctly, he played his first 3 seasons with the Rams.
You're absolutely correct, yes.
Okay, and then last year he played with the Texans. He's a pass rusher. I do not think we brought him in to be a run defender.
That's fair.
Okay, but I guess before we go into kind of his stats and everything, his contract... So we're kind of looking at him as potentially like, I don't know, Jadeveon Clowney replacement, but money-wise, it's not so much. Because what were we paying Clowney last year?
That was 10.
Like, was it 10?
Something like that.
So we got him for 3 years, $19 million, 6.3 a year. You know what? For a guy that you want to kind of be an edge rush specialist, I'm guessing that's what he's going to be. Not bad.
I know. Are we
not
thinking
bad price.
This is the starter. This is the opposite of Miles.
This is probably going to be in some. I think they're building a rotation at the opposite end position. I think Alex Wright. I think Ogbo. I think they're probably going to draft somebody.
Yes.
I think there's going to be a rotation of players on that side.
Still got Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
7th round pick. I did see today Chase Winovich is leaving Cleveland. So
he is.
That's one. I mean, it sucks because I think he's a fan favorite, but I don't think it's a huge loss, you know, when you're bringing in another guy. But I like the pick. I don't know a ton about this guy. I kind of just checked his career stats real quick before. Oh, I'm excited. Is there some good news?
Well, I mean, it's about Ogbo. I'm just getting more updates about it. But go ahead.
Yeah.
What you were saying.
I thought you were going to be like, Browns just traded for DeAndre Hopkins. And I was going to be like, oh.
I'm looking for a little bit of Draymond Jones. We'll get to it.
Yeah. But no, I didn't know a ton about this guy. I looked up his stats today. And from what it looks like, last year was his most productive year. Yep. Not like blow the doors off numbers. You know, it's not like 12, 13 sacks, but I believe he had 5.
5.
Yep. So production. I guess, and we've always talked about it where we just want somebody to take advantage of the opportunity that they're given when you're playing across from Miles.
Yep.
Because if Miles is going to get double teamed all day, you would think that would open up the door for the guy on the other side. But it hasn't. Whether it was Olivier Vernon or Clowney, it's just kind of...
Yeah.
That other side really is
disappointing.
It's super disappointing.
So we were kind of talking before the show too, like where Clowney excelled as a run defender, Ogbo specializes more as that pure pass rusher. I don't think, and looking at the PFF grades kind of tells the story because Clowney's run defense grade was 74.3, Ogbo was 61.5. Okay. But then flip those around. Clowney last year, as far as his pass rush, was a 70. Ogbo was an 81.9, so 82 essentially.
Now, did you see he had a higher win percent on than Myles Garrett?
Did he?
He is. So right now, the Browns have 2 of the top 4 pass rushers as far as win percent.
Okay. Well, that's exactly the stat that just popped up.
Okay, cool.
You're right.
Absolutely.
He was a 16.4 and Miles was 16.3. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I saw that stat maybe an hour ago or something like that. And I was like, well, that's very encouraging.
He was the 3rd highest pressure rate in the NFL last year.
Yeah. On a
for
team
$6.3 million.
Yeah. On a team that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right.
On a team that
was
just really, really dysfunctional, complete rebuild. I mean, they started Davis Mills for 15, 16 games last year? It's rough.
More than they should have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's 6'2", 253, drafted in the 5th round in 2018 by the Rams. I'm excited about what he brings to the defense. I think this is a good signing. It's
definitely a signing of need.
Yes.
Like to me, going into this, I'm very nervous. I was very nervous about that position. I'm very nervous about the interior of the defensive line. I hope that kind of starts being addressed in the next couple hours or so. Because, I mean, we had people get away. Well, I guess we'll talk about that a little bit. But
yeah. Well, we can kind of transition.
Okay.
Here. So as we're recording this tonight on Monday, we're recapping, you know, what's happened so far since noon, and it's been Ethan Pocic and Ogbo Okoronkwo.
Double O.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much for the Browns. So if anything happens after we're done here tonight, or you know tomorrow during the day, we'll jump in. We'll do an episode either tomorrow or Wednesday and recap that stuff. We'll get you the updates. But as of now, those are the 2.
Yep.
And I mean, lock and load the offensive line. I think we're cool.
Yep.
I feel good about it. Pocic, I was very nervous about center.
Oh yeah,
I was very nervous.
To me, I was thinking, well, we're either going to throw a bunch of money at this guy and we're in trouble because we're not going to be able to address other needs, or you're going to roll Nick Harris out, which.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's a good thing to mention too.
Okay.
We did clear up, what was it, $36 million in cap space?
In Deshaun Watson's contract?
Yeah.
Yep.
So they restructured, I think, today.
That's what I saw,
Before noon.
Yeah.
So that way we could go out and make some of these offers to these guys. But this episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Spring is in the air, and that can only mean one thing: Spring grilling. The steak experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to spring into something delicious with their semi-annual sale. With 50% off site-wide, grab all your favorites like perfectly aged, tender steaks, ocean fresh seafood, juicy burgers, incredible air-chilled chicken, and decadent desserts. Plus, when you go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code DAWGS, D-A-W-G-S at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. It's the perfect way to get fired up and spring into something special. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use code DAWGS at checkout. Take advantage of this deal right now. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, and you're going to want to hurry because 50% off site-wide is only happening for a limited time. So don't miss your chance to save big right now. Visit omahasteaks.com. Use code DAWGS, D-A-W-G-S, at checkout. Get that additional $30 off when you shop their semi-annual sale today. Minimum order may be required. This episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. The action never ends at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially this summer. With tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports, you can fuel your fandom and feel the heat of the season like never before. Plus, right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right. Make your first bet up to $1,000, and if it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash in. You can throw down on all the major action for baseball, golf, MMA, and more. Plus, with same-game parlays, spreads, money lines, over-unders, and props, your betting options feel endless. Best of all, DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code TPPN. Make your first deposit and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code TPPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. I guess we'll go into the bad news.
Okay.
Javon Hargrave is not coming to Cleveland.
No.
And he almost did. Reports were it was between two teams in the end.
Yeah.
And we were number 2.
Yeah. But can you blame him, though? Can you really blame him?
If I had if I was him at his level and his age and everything to go play with that defense in San Francisco, dude, I'd be on that plane.
Yeah. I mean, you literally just played on a excellent defense.
Yep.
And the scary thing is you might be going to a better defense.
Yeah.
It's insane to me. And I don't know. I feel like they've just done so well just building their entire roster. To me, even when you think you see a hole on that team, no, just Brock Purdy just comes in and just lights it up for 5-6 games, and leads the team. So for him, I get it. They paid him a ton too. Was it 4 years, 80 million, something like that?
84. 4 years,
a lot of money.
$84 million, averaged $21 million a year. And we were thinking we could, I think it was around, what were we projecting? 17, 18, something like that?
For us?
Oh, no, Hargrave, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured he was going to be at least 20, probably.
Okay, now I'm getting him and Jones mixed up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, 21. Okay, so that's what we were kind of figuring it was going to be.
And if you sign him, you go, man, hey, this is awesome. We locked that up. But then it all comes down to money right now for me because I don't see a lot of it. I know we freed up space and everything, but oh my gosh, there's just, to me, I see a lot of needs. Would that have taken one away? And I think he's a stud. He is an excellent player. But sometimes it goes like that.
Sometimes it does. More times than not, honestly, if you're a Browns fan over the years.
That's fair.
Another guy that I know a lot of fans were high on. I can't remember how you felt about him. I wasn't too big on Jesse Bates.
I just felt like there was bigger needs.
That's where I was.
Not bigger needs.
Not a good player.
I think he's okay.
Great player.
Yeah.
But for the money and
Yes.
for the needs we have, I didn't think it was a priority. And he went to Atlanta on a 4-year deal, $64 million, making $16 million a year, and everybody was thinking it was going to be around 14 for him. So that was going to be pricey for us.
I thought that he was going to get a contract.
And
he was going to get the bag, and he got it.
He did.
He got it. They were saying this morning that they thought his annual year, somebody sent it in one of the group chats, and they said that it was going to be close to somewhere around $17 million a year. And I was just like, okay. And Barry, I trust. Here we go. Because the reports were that he wanted to come to Cleveland,
Yeah.
But hey, dead presidents talk, it is what it is.
I mean, Hargrave wanted to play for Jim Schwartz too.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there's just better money out there.
Sometimes there's just
opportunities.
84 million other reasons why, you should do something else.
And I mean, you get to go play, if you're Hargrave, let's see, go play with that defense in California.
Yeah.
or go play with that defense in Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, everybody, go watch our stuff about the Dome. We need it.
Yeah. I just read, I know it's crazy. I just read more about it, and they're kind of saying now that they don't even think they're going to do offsite Cleveland. Now they're saying we're just going to probably throw a bunch of money at First Energy Stadium. And I was like, oh,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, here we go. Put a dome on it.
Oh my gosh. So are there any other names that you had your eye on for the Browns that are now gone?
I guess not really. There was names and deals that got done that I was surprised, and we kind of joked around about it. And even though cornerback's not a need for us, were you surprised by the Jalen Ramsey deal? Because to me, I'm like, I felt like they gave up hardly anything. Now, maybe it's going to be part because of the contract, he's in. He's going to command a lot of money.
Right.
But I mean, he is a stud. He went for hardly a tight end and a third-round pick.
But this is what happened last year with Amari Cooper. I mean, he came to the Browns for 2 fifth-round picks. It's like, that's one of the better receivers in the whole league.
We'd laughed about it, too, with Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack for what, a third last year?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
We were like, a third? I got a third. I give you 2/3. Please, let me, Khalil Mack, please. But, yeah, I mean, I thought that was interesting. Honestly, for the most part, I know we need to address receiver at some point, and I don't know if we're going to do that through the draft, but up till this point, there's been no wide receiver free agency deals done.
Right.
Zero. Nothing done yet. So a lot of talent out there still. Maybe we sit and kind of play the waiting game with some of these positions that we need. I'm not saying to sleep and just let all the good players get claimed up, but I mean, it seems like they're slow playing the day. It's been kind of slow today.
It has been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there have been a couple, I don't even want to call them like big signings for the NFL. I guess notable might be a little bit better, but before we go into those, and maybe by that time Blake will be here to help us out a little bit with some of this commentary, but we'll see. He says 6:15. Dude's got 2 minutes.
He'll be here at 7.
We'll see.
He'll be here at 7.
It might be the Josh and Justin show tonight.
Hey, double J's.
Either way, Draymond Jones has to be like, if Andrew Berry needs to be on the phone with like his agent nonstop. Like don't ever hang up. Just get put on hold if the guy's got to go to the bathroom or something. But otherwise, I'm not hanging up the phone.
No, so you did a little a piece yesterday on 5 free agents that you thought we needed to go after.
Yep.
Do you want to touch on that a little bit? Just what you had in there about just some of his. I don't know if you had it pulled up or not.
I can pull it up. Do you have some of it?
No. No, I don't.
Okay, hang on. I'll grab it. Go ahead and say what you want to say, though, quick.
It's definitely a position of need. And I don't know if maybe the 00 signing changes this, but I didn't see really what they thought he was going to command. But I guess he's still on the radar. Jake Trotter's still saying that, he's a guy to watch out for the Browns. But I don't know, man. Enlighten me.
He did play at Ohio State.
Correct.
He was drafted in 2018, I think. Okay, I'll figure that out here in a second. But either way, he's been like an ascending guy on that Denver Broncos defensive front.
Yeah.
And the thing about Draymond Jones that would be really good for the Browns and Jim Schwartz is that he is not just locked into an interior defensive lineman position. He can also go out wide and play edge.
Okay.
So he can rush off the edge, or you can line him up inside and have him rush from the interior right next to Miles, opposite Miles, 2 guys away from Miles, whatever you want to do. So I think that he brings a lot of versatility, whereas Javon Hargrave is obviously like the elite pass rushing interior defensive lineman. Jones is very good too, but he can do it from the edge. So that's why when I did the episode the other day, he was like that consolation prize because I don't feel like he's that big of a step down.
No, and his numbers are pretty phenomenal, man.
Yeah, last year he had a 15.9 pass rush win rate when he was lined up inside, and that was 6th overall in the NFL. So, I mean, if you can get that in free agency, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm just looking at his sack numbers, and on a very, very good defense last year, 6.5 sacks,
47 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 10 quarterback hits. He's 26 years old.
Young, yeah.
So we get him for like a 4-year deal. I mean, we've got the interior kind of locked up with him, for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Gives us an opportunity to still draft a younger guy, Perry on. These guys can kind of develop around him.
Yes. Instead of forcing them and just, hey, you got to go be the guy right now.
Exactly.
Perry on, you got to do that. What are they talking about as far as contract? Is there any
Yeah, so he's projected for 4-year, $68.5 million, $17 million a year. So it's going to be similar to the Javon Hargrave contract, just a little less.
A little less.
He's going to be expensive, though. We're going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
Reports are there's mutual interest.
Yeah, Cleveland kid. Born in Cleveland.
Columbus kid, so...
I just read a little article, and he said excited that the idea that he could come and play for the Browns and there's mutual interest. He said very excited.
I would love to see what Jim Schwartz can do with Draymond Jones.
You got me excited, man. He wasn't really super on my radar, and he's on the radar now. I like this. I like this a lot.
Well, let's get him off the radar and on the damn team.
Onto the roster. Yeah, yes. No kidding, man.
Today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Whatever is going on in your life, BetterHelp could be a great option for you. BetterHelp is convenient, flexible, affordable therapy that's custom built for you. And best of all, it's 100% online, so you don't have to leave the comfort of your home. And finding the right person is just as easy. Just fill out a short questionnaire, and it'll match you with a licensed therapist. And you can switch therapists at any time, for any reason, at no additional charge. Look, we all have stuff we're carrying around. And finding someone that you can just talk to, a professional to just talk through it, it really, truly helps. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/dogs, DAWGS today for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/dogs. All right, so as you can see, the video has not glitched yet. Blake has not appeared, so chances are he is not going to show up for this episode. But
you never know.
That's fine. Yeah, you never know. He might
Anything
come
is
in right
possible.
at the end just to say, hey, see you guys next week. But let's just talk real quick about some of these more notable free agents that have been signed today. Let's just start at the quarterback position. Obviously, it's always the big one. Jimmy G signs a 3-year deal worth, looks like $24 million a year. Is that right?
I mean, that would...
With the Las Vegas Raiders.
3 years, 72, and let me see.
I mean, they got it broken down, average $24.2 million a year. Yeah. He's 31 years old. He's never played a full season in his career. They were not very good last year with Derek Carr, who I think is a better quarterback than Jimmy G. So
I agree with you.
What are the Raiders looking like in 2023?
So I kind of figured that they were going to just take a quarterback at 7 in the draft, because they're right now
they still could,
and they still could, and they probably should.
And I'm thinking they will.
Okay. Might have to move up. Things are getting a little dicey. It was looking like might have to get up to 3 with Arizona and snag one of those guys if you want them. But for me, it's a good deal for Las Vegas. I kind of feel like they're rebuild. I know it doesn't look like it, but to me that gives me big rebuild vibes. Like, hey, we're signing a veteran quarterback. To me, he is a step down. I don't think he's as good as Derek Carr. And like the offense is great. He's got a lot of weapons, but you touched on it. Injuries for his entire career have kind of been a problem.
Yeah.
And he links back up with Josh McDaniels, who he's with the Patriots. So I guess good for both of them, because he could have been in a situation where, who knows what happens. Yep. all the pieces are falling into place. Maybe he gets left out, but no, good for him. I honestly don't think they're going to be that good. Like,
I don't either.
And you don't really want them to be good. I don't think, if you're a Raiders fan, if you're a Raiders fan, I think you kind of, hey, this is a transition. If you don't take a quarterback next year, you don't want to be good enough where you're completely out of, let's say the top 10, top 15, where you can't even get a good quarterback or a touted quarterback. But to be continued, I kind of think Las Vegas is really dysfunctional.
They're in rough shape.
Yeah,
they are
defense
in rough
is
shape.
bad. I mean, I like the pieces that they have. And even like Jimmy G, I think he can be serviceable. Let's just not say, hey, he's not an awful quarterback.
No, not at all.
You know, I think I hate to use this, but he's a wonderful game manager. You know what I mean? I hate to use that because I think I don't want to say he's better than that, but he knows his role. You know what I mean? And he executes that. I mean, look what he did with San Francisco. He was wildly successful with San Francisco when he was healthy. So, I mean, I just don't think they're that good.
No,
just being honest.
I don't think so either.
And I don't think adding him to the roster makes them better. I mean, if you don't have a quarterback, yes, this makes them better. But like to go from Derek Carr to this, maybe I just sign Jarrett Stidham on the low and just see how bad things
well, now
get.
he's going to go back up Russell Wilson in Denver. I think they probably still at least. I think there's a strong chance they're drafting a quarterback.
Yeah.
To develop behind Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy G is going to be their bridge.
Yep. 3 years. What?
Yeah,
3 years.
So I think you have him locked in this year. If you want to take a more developmental project like an Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, say, okay, sit here and learn behind. I mean, Jimmy G is a pro.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a pro. He can mentor. He can show you how to prepare for
He's done
the
it
NFL.
all. He's been a backup.
Yes.
He's been the starter. He's done it all.
The fact, I mean, you know, a lot of these guys, it's very hard to play quarterback at the highest level.
Yes.
Like the highest level in the NFL. But you can prepare at the highest level even if your talent isn't there.
Correct.
And I think Jimmy G's a great pro, great veteran. I think he can teach these young guys how to be that.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably more what they're paying for.
Yeah.
As far as other big notable signings, I'm kind of scrolling through here and I'm not seeing a ton, but maybe
I got
you
one that surprised me.
Okay.
Just Sam Darnold, the 49ers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, make a messy situation just a little more messy. I understand. To me, I've been sitting here since pretty much the season ended, and I'm going, what does San Francisco do at quarterback? Do you go with your guy that you drafted and used all these draft picks to get? Do you go with Brock Purdy, who showed he could be extremely serviceable and be a game manager? And then we bring in Sam Darnold. I mean, I guess I just don't know what Darnold's role on that team is going to be. Are you mentoring Trey Lance? Are you?
I think it just, for me, it fits.
Yeah.
It really fits because San Francisco loves quarterbacks that get injured. And Sam Darnold is that. Okay. Whether it's mono or whatever, pinky fingers, whatever it is that he's doing.
Broke his ankle last year. Yeah.
I think that, as soon as Trey Lance gets hurt, I mean, they can roll Purdy in there. He can get hurt very easily. And then I think Sam Darnold can play a game or two before he gets hurt. And then I think their season will be complete.
Yeah. I was just, and maybe I'm just missing big picture on it. I just feel like, a lot of teams don't roll 3 quarterbacks on their roster.
San Francisco, I think you kind of have to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying like week to week. You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
So, which one is Brock Purdy going to the practice squad? Are they going to let that guy slip and have a chance to get taken away? Because you're not going to put Darnold or Trey Lance on the practice squad, right?
Man, unless there's some sort of trade interest from a couple other teams in
for Trey Lance.
I don't know.
That would make sense to me if that was the case.
That would clear up the situation.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I don't know what you're getting for Brock Purdy, but if there's a team that was like, hey, we'll give you a draft pick. I don't think he's getting like super high draft picks. He's got 6 games on tape,
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just missing big picture on it, and I'm thinking,
I mean, for San Francisco to recoup any sort of draft capital for Trey Lance,
got to get
going into year 3, you gave up the farm for him, and now you got a guy on the roster who has shown that, he can lead your team anyway.
I know. It's crazy.
It's got to be tempting to say, we could get
1 or 2 of those
maybe another
back.
first back, or maybe a couple seconds or something. I don't know. Or a player, whatever they need, maybe, I don't know. It might be in consideration.
And I think it'd be easier too. Like the whole situation would be easier if Trey Lance would have just stayed healthy last year. I think if he doesn't get hurt, you either know, hey, this guy's a stud. He's going to, because going into this year, everybody was saying, man, this guy has top 10 quarterback potential. Like he's got the legs. He's got a huge arm. He's just got weapons everywhere. He's just got to put it all together. Second game of the season, breaks his ankle. Yeah. So, I mean, there's teams that would definitely go do it. Maybe not. I mean, Lamar Jackson's still available. And probably will be until Wednesday. You can't even negotiate with him, I guess, till Wednesday.
That's true. But Lamar's definitely commanding a lot more investment than what Trey Lance would.
Oh, yeah. Trey Lance, you got him on a rookie deal for what? At least one more year, plus if you pick the option up? Yeah.
Yeah. Not a bad. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I guess before. All right, well, let's just do like a couple minutes real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Aaron Rodgers to the Jets.
What do I think about it? Or is it going to happen, or is he going to retire?
I mean, the reports at this moment in time and reporting is it's all but done. Is that right? Like, I don't think
I've seen people text that, but then I don't see it. You know what I mean? When I go and look, I see little rumblings and stuff on Twitter, but I need like some
it's the
Shefty
most unofficial, official thing right now.
I would say this. I don't think he goes back to Green Bay. I don't think there's any way in hell he's playing for Green Bay next year. Just from the body language and just how the general manager, and then, so it's basically their team president, because they are basically owned by the fans. He's basically like the owner, this guy. And they asked him, they're like, hey, you know, like Aaron Rodgers this year, you know, back with the Packers. And he was like, and just kind of dodging it and saying, you know, I think honestly, it's really just up to Aaron Rodgers. I think if he wants to play, it's done. Because I don't think, I think that everything is done except for him. I think the trade's probably in place. Correct. I think everything's already been done. They just need him to go, yeah, I want to go to New York and I'm not retiring. Correct. I think that's the only holdup right now.
Yep.
But nobody knows what Aaron Rodgers is thinking ever.
I know. Probably not even him.
Do you like it though? I think they could be.
We've talked about it. I think that that's the absolute best spot for him. I think that's what they need.
Yep.
And I think it makes them contenders.
Dude, their defense.
I think it makes them dangerous.
Is very, very good. And then you pair. I mean, look what they did last year with Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson, and Mike White.
Yeah.
Even if Aaron Rodgers goes into this year and he has a down year, that is a substantial improvement over what you got. Maybe other than those couple games with Mike White, but he got so banged up that he basically was taken out of, for the season. But I think he's a substantial upgrade, even if in a down year. But I think your window's tight. I think you have a year. Maybe you can talk him into doing 2, but this is it. Super Bowl window. If this is what you're bringing him here, and you obviously bring him to New York because you think that he's the last piece to getting a Super Bowl, if you're a Jets fan or management.
Yep.
So I'd pull the trigger.
And if I were Aaron Rodgers, I'd do it because this is your last chance to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
And this is the team to do it with.
Right. After what I saw last year from Green Bay, I don't think, I think there's just too much other stuff going on.
And they've got a former first round pick locked up in Jordan Love. It's time for them to figure out if they've got a quarterback.
Right. And that's the thing, is this guy's just been waiting. And now he's getting antsy and talking about, like, if I'm not playing this year, I'd like to be traded. Because he obviously believes that he's ready. And I'm friends with a Packers guy, and he's been out on Rodgers. He loves Rodgers. You're a Packers fan. You love Rodgers. You love Favre. They did great things, but I think most Packer fans are kind of ready to move forward.
Yep.
Whether it's good or bad, at least hey, we don't have to be tied into that $50 million a year contract anymore.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I think if he wants to play, he's going. That's it. It's probably a done deal.
I agree. All right, so I think that's going to do it.
Okay.
We didn't get Blake, but it's all right. We'll see him again at some point. I'm thinking maybe. I don't know. In a while.
I haven't seen him in like weeks.
I know, right? But, so that's our recap of the first day of free agency. Again, if more things happen, when more things happen, when we sign more players this week, we'll get on, we'll talk about it. One or two, or some of us, we'll be bringing you guys the updates and our thoughts and everything about it. So that was Ethan Pocic and Ogbo Okoronkwo.
Double O.
Got to learn how to say the name because he is going to be rushing off the edge opposite Myles Garrett in 2023. So pretty excited about it. Yes. Definitely excited about Pocic. Disappointed about Hargrave. Very hopeful and optimistic about Draymond Jones.
Okay. I like that. I'm good with that.
Yeah. So say your prayers tonight, and hopefully tomorrow we can bring you guys a video talking about the new interior.
We have interior defensive line help.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, join thedawgs.com, join the Dog Pack community. My headphones are bouncing in and out. This is driving me crazy.
Have you here?
Yeah.
No, okay.
The audio.
Oh, okay.
I'm losing it. Anyway.
I say tighten them things up, man. Lock them in.
All right. Thanks a lot, everybody, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.